Welcome to episode 2 of the Bathtub Bulletin website. Every week or so, we're going to highlight some of the posts on the Bathtub Bulletin, the most recent posts, in an effort to invite you to join us and find out what's happening on the Bathtub Bulletin. We at the Bathtub Bulletin bring the greatest and the latest in consciousness, sexuality, androgyny, futurism, art, music, physics, astrology, democracy, photography, humor, books, movies, and more. So the first post we want to highlight is from The Onion, a very well-known website. In fact, I used to volunteer for them here in San Francisco. And they have an article in which Chet Kirkendall, a Christian pornographer, is quoted as saying this: "I've been in this 25 years, and I strongly believe rim jobs, facials, and other hardcore sex acts should only take place between one man and one woman, or one man and two women, or in some cases 5 men taking turns with one woman, but never 2 men." So, and the article goes on to say, asked whether he would also deny service to a lesbian couple, Kirkendall said, "It might be permissible as long as it was 2 hot chicks." So there you are for the first post we wanted to highlight. The Onion never fails to, well, I guess it sometimes fails, but it often provides the necessary perspective to some of the things going on in our society today. And the second thing I want to bring your attention to is, the second post I want to bring your attention to is the Onion horoscope, which is something we try to put on up as often as we can. And this is for the week of July 31st. And I'll just highlight 2 of the, it goes through the different 12 signs, and I'll just highlight 2 of them. Scorpio, while it's true only God can judge you, you're making it pretty easy for him to decide you're a jackass. Okay? That's for those who consider themselves Scorpio. And Leo, one of my favorite signs. Betrayal, treason, and vile calumny will be the order of things next week, which you must admit sounds a lot cooler than the light office work you're used to. So that's a little taste of the Onion horoscope, weekly horoscope reading, which, I personally, I take astrology seriously, but I also think there's a lot of humor in it. The third post I want to highlight is a long article by Nathaniel Rich in the New York Times Magazine in August 1st. He talks about, the title of the article is "Losing Earth, the Decade We Almost Stopped Climate Change," and he's talking about the 10 years between 1979 and 1989. It's a very long article. I haven't read it, and I really don't intend to, but if you are interested in it, you should at least know about it, I think. So we've posted the original several paragraphs on to the Bathtub Bulletin, and then a link to the New York Times Magazine website where you can read the entire article. It's saying that we had a chance really from 1979 to 1989 to do something about climate change. This is when it was not as politically divided a subject as it is today, and Republicans as well as Democrats were on board for taking some kind of intelligent action, and so that gives us an idea of the history of the climate change issue and perhaps where we can go from here and make some real effort to come to agreement as far as how to handle this apparent inexorable force that's coming on us. Okay, so much for my editorializing. The fourth post I want to bring to your attention is a quote that we ran across that is attributed to Leonardo da Vinci on his deathbed. He's said to have said, "I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have." And so we're going to show you just a brief tip of the iceberg, as it were, of some of the things that images of flight, weaponry, the human body, the Last Supper, Mona Lisa, to give you a brief overview of some of his work. Also happened to be a gay man, Leonardo da Vinci, so that's interesting to me. He joins the ranks of Alexander the Great. Some say Jesus himself. Well, we don't want to go down that list, but it's a long list of gay men, gay people, but mostly gay men who have transcended the dichotomy of sexuality and thereby been a tremendous asset to civilization. And the final post we want to highlight is something that was brought to our attention by Willem Floyd, who brought this to our attention, as I said. And it's a YouTube of Helen Mirren, the actress Helen Mirren, reading from the poem Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. And, due to YouTube constrictions, restrictions, and so on, and not only YouTube, but CBS and everybody else. This is a YouTube, what we have posted on the Bathtub Bulletin is a YouTube of Helen Mirren reading to Stephen Colbert on The Late Show. But we're not able to duplicate that here because of copyright laws. So what we do have the audio of a man named John Bryden, who will be reading these few lines from Ulysses, which will close this episode of Bathtub Bulletin. As I said before, we hope to do this on a weekly basis, and if you want to be sure to get the latest podcasts, please click on the subscribe button below, and then there's a little bell, and you click on that, and that makes sure that you are sent indication that we have posted something new on the Bathtub Bulletin channel. So here, without further ado, is John Bryden reading the excerpts from the poem Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. If you want to hear and see Helen Mirren Helen Mirren reading the same excerpt, then come to bathtubBulletin.com and you can see the whole thing there for yourself. So aloha, and we'll see you next time.
Old age hath yet his honour and his toil. Death closes all, but something ere the end, some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks, the long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles, whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fates, but strong in will to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.